Hi, this is Bob Weiss. I'm the host of Shakin' Your World. Cheers.
Folks, welcome home. Another episode of Flash in the Pan here at Shaker's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Today we're doing turtle soup. We have a wild game dinner coming up on Thursday, the 21st of January. And I'm going to begin the process today to get my flavors working. So we've got this beautiful snapping turtle that just came in today. This is from Mississippi. Generally, the southern states are where you're going to source this from. So whether it's Mississippi or Louisiana, this is snapping turtle. Snapping turtle. So we have 10 pounds to work with. We've got 40 people coming for the dinner itself. And obviously we'll have other turtle soup in-house for this weekend as our build-up for Mardi Gras is taking place. So what we want to do is to take this turtle meat, and I've slacked this, and I'm pulling this apart to make sure everything's clean. Now, you don't want to get the miscellaneous organs that might transfer into this as well, so we just keep those to the side. And we're going to be working with just the prime meat. And yes, turtle meat is dark meat. It's always a question I get. So we're just going to break this down, and I'm going to get this a little exposure to the heat. So we're going to sear this, and some of this we're going to boil. So we're going to create actually a turtle stock from this. And we've talked in the past about the best stocks taking place when you've got the bones of something like a like chicken carcass or something of that nature. In this case, we're not able to use turtle shells. And that's not where the flavor is in this particular creature. It's really going to be just in the meat itself. And as you can see, this is a very lean product. So we're just going to, as I say, just busting it down like this. It's going to go into our hot pans. I have a little olive oil and a touch of balsamic vinegar in these. And then some bacon renderings, because we're going for a real southern flavor and flair here. And to me, nothing is more synonymous with Cajun cooking or even down south cooking, low country cooking than bacon fat. That's going to work itself up. And that is our medium for searing our meat off. And this is a very tough meat. So that's why I'm working this a couple of days ahead of time, because I want to give it plenty of time to braise at different parts of the process and to just to cook down and to get as tender as possible. So then over here I just got some water boiling, and here in our monkey pot I have a variety of things. I've got the remnants of some peppers. I've got some carrots in here. I have celery stalks in here. Obviously, there's plenty of onion skins in here as well. So I don't want to get the salads in here, but I'll be taking off the fluid as we get going with every part of this. So I've got these really rich, dense vegetable flavors that are going to be integrating themselves right along with our turtle. Speed on that. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to take the other parts of this. I'm not going to cut these down yet. I'm just going to take the actual turtle meat itself as it's been pulled outside of the shell, and I'm going to put that into our boiling water, and I'm going to develop a stock from this. And this will continue to cook, and as this cooks, then we're going to add some of the stock that we have going here, just the vegetables, and that's all going to marry together. And we'll reduce this down, get a very compound flavor with this, and then at some point I'm going to marry these parts together along with a variety of other vegetables. We're going to take certainly bell peppers, some banana chili peppers, some fresh onions, some tomato product from here as well, and we're going to develop this real thick, dense, marvelous stew that we have. So I've got a very simple assemblage here of some herbs and spices. So paprika, some cayenne chili peppers, some red peppercorn, a little bit of garlic salt, some kosher salt, and a little bit of thyme. And that's just going to go both into our pot there, and a little bit's going to go right into our turtle meat right here. And turtle meat in some ways is like nothing else. Nothing tastes like chicken except for chicken. but nothing tastes quite like turtle. Maybe it's closer in some ways to an alligator, but even at that, it is a very unique flavor. And if you go down to joints in New Orleans, places like Brennan's do a really good job with their turtle soup, and it is just really intrinsic to the entire bayou concept of what Cajun cooking is. So you take these marvelous natural ingredients that are around you that might be considered to be off meats or something unusual that you wouldn't touch up north, but the flavors are extraordinary. And for people not to taste these things or sample it, you're really shortchanging yourself for what your culinary experience could be. So I have another pan over there, a stock pot, and what I'm going to do is to take off any of the fluids that came with this meat. So turtle meat I've only ever seen coming in frozen, so I've slacked this or thawed this, and I have this much of the fluid that's left over. Now, this is not blood, but people are often confused about that. But it is a byproduct of the proteins inside the meat, and it's just the way the meat exudes the liquid. And I'm going to take that liquid and put that into this pot over here, and I'm going to start to cook that as well. Everything is going to get married together. And we're going to have just these marvelous deep flavors that have come off this. So here, for example, we have a little bit of extraneous fat. We've also got some of the whatever organ that might have been that was attached to that. So we're just going to cut off the organ portion. I want to take the fat though and get the fat in there as well. Because again, there's not a lot of fat that's on this. The smells are phenomenal. Good, meaty, stock kind of a smell. It really kind of hits home what we're doing here with this wild game dinner. It's game, obviously, and that means meat. And this certainly is meaty. You don't think about a turtle as being this meaty, but snappers, which grow quite large and can be incredibly dangerous, by the way, they're snapping for a reason. They will take your fingers off. But this is what the meat looks like. And getting the wrong meat can really derail your entire dish. So whether you're doing a gumbo with this or an etouffee or anything else, and certainly a soup, if you have a less than satisfactory meat to begin with, your product is not going to be good either. So you can tell this, you open it up, you can smell it. If it smells fresh, it just smells like good meat, you're fine. If it smells off, don't use it. And there's a huge concern that goes along with things like this as well. Anything that dwells partially in the water, there's a really significant opportunity for you to get salmonella from that, just like you would with chicken. So it's important that you cook everything thoroughly, wash it, rinse it ahead of time, make sure it's clean of the organ parts. And like these, for example, we're going to eliminate that. Food safety is paramount. There is no excuse for many of the issues that people have with different diseases taking place, like salmonella or listeria, things like that. If you practice good sanitation, you wash your deck, you bleach your deck, your knives, everything else all the time, your hands certainly, you'll go a long way to preventing those things. The other thing is smell is so incredibly important, and you should smell everything before you cook it, before you put it in your mouth, man. So this is just going to work itself down for a while, and we'll catch up in about 20 minutes or so to see what the progress is like, and we'll start to marry components together. See you in a minute. Folks, welcome back. Here we are again at Flash the Pan. We're about 20 or so minutes after we were a moment ago. And so I've got my turtle, which we've cut down before. We got in our frying pans. We got a nice sear going on here, beautiful colors, nice little effect taking place with the proteins in the meat. This is just looking really good. At this point, what I want to do is to take some of our turtle stock. So if you recall, what we had talked about is just taking some of the turtle meat, which I've now removed, and use that to boil that to extract as maximum flavors you possibly can from this. Now, when that was in here, we developed this little scum, if you like, that's on the top. So we just took a little strainer, we strained off our scum. We're not going to cook with this. So again, those proteins, the the myoglobin kind of things. That's what that happens when it gets hot, and it's all good. You just take it right off the top. You're not going to want to use that. So here I'm just going to take some of the turtle stock and add that to our seared turtle. Maybe a little more delicately than I did that. But we're just going to get some fluid in here. And now we're going to take some of our onions and our peppers and toss those right on top of that. So I've just got some simple banana chili peppers. I've got some bell peppers here, and of course I've just got some onions in here. And that's going to sit there and just kind of simmer together for a while. And then everything's going to go into this hotel pan right over here. You want to use a stock pot at home. Obviously you're not doing 10 pounds of the turtle meat as I am. It's all going to go in here, and we're going to bake this in the oven, and that is where our soup is really going to come together. So this is just a matter of time and temperature. So it's just going to sit there and all the flavors will meld. And that's not the kind of thing that you can make happen in 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour. That's a long, slow cooking process. I want to get as much flavor, ultimate flavor as I can from the meat, from the peppers, and the onion. That's all going to work together. And then I'm also going to do some tomato products. So what I generally do is we would take, in season, we take fresh tomatoes. This time of year, it is January, I'll just be taking some pomodoro, which is a processed marinated whole tomato product, and add some a little bit of a tomato paste as well, just to thicken this. And that, along with the spices, the herbs that we already used, it's just going to work together in the oven, and the magic's going to take place. So this can't be any easier than this. Again, if people are concerned about this process, you literally just do that with it. I'll pour it sideways so you can see what goes on with this. This is just that easy. A couple stragglers there, get those knocked in as well. Heat turned off. Take our bench knife, also known as a pastry knife, multi-purpose. And yes, between every step that we use this bench for, I have sanitized everything, and I strongly suggest that you do the same thing. There is an old saw that says that good sanitation is no accident. You don't want to poison people. You're making this marvelous product for them, and they're really going to enjoy how everything comes together. So don't shortcut yourself or your guests by not having proper sanitation taking place. So this looks pretty good right now. I'm going to take, of course, all of our stock, our liquid, which really is just the flavor of the turtle itself. You could say, why don't you throw it all together? Yes, you can do that, but if you stage these ingredients separately, you take the time to sear the meat, you get so much more flavor. And here's the other part of that stock. Just in there like that. And now it probably looks a bit more like a soup to you. So the last thing I'm going to do is this is going to go in the oven. I'm going to take these other pieces of the turtle that we used for the stock, and as soon as this cools, it's awfully hot right now, I'm going to put it in our food processor, take the Roboku and process that down, and after we mulch that down, that's going to go in here as well. So I have different textures, different sizes, because I think that's part of the whole gig about cooking, is that you don't just want to have one uniform piece going on, you want it to carry through. So that's what's going to happen. Right now, this is going to go in the oven. I'm going to put some film on, or rather foil on top of this. I'm going to bake this away for a while. And when it comes out, I'm going to take everything that is here with the turtle meat, and we will have mulched this down, add our tomato product to it, put it back in the oven, and just let the magic work all by itself. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.